Do you love stories of dachshund courage, tiny paws beating big odds, and the kind of community that always shows up? At Rocky Mountain Dachshund Rescue, we believe that if the Doxies can do it, their humans will be right there rooting for them. And that includes both me and you. Whether you donate, like, share, or simply hold space for these long little dogs in your heart, it truly helps. So if we're Giving Tuesday, come join us around the fireplace. We've saved a spot for you. Tonight we're sharing a trilogy of hope. 3 very real rescue stories about 3 very determined dachshunds facing one of the scariest conditions in the dachshund world: IVDD, intervertebral disc disease. If you remember Little Rocky, our tiny Colorado fighter who lived out his last month surrounded by love, then you'll understand exactly why this matters. These new stories of Copper, Frankie, and Bonsai are stories of second chances, fast action, compassion, and the community that makes it all possible. Let's go behind the scenes. Copper is the kind of dog whose tail has never met a moment it didn't want to celebrate. His story started when his owner, a breeder, surrendered him for fighting with the other intact males. Since he was a complete unknown, and possibly a behavior case, 2 of our volunteers drove out to meet him. What they found was a sweet, friendly little red and white Doxie, surrounded by dogs, plus a proud new dachshund mom showing off her week-old puppy. Copper charmed everyone instantly. 2 weeks later, when it was time to bring him into the rescue, something was suddenly very wrong. Copper was struggling to walk. This was completely new. His owner explained that he'd been caught in a pileup at the dog door with 2 other dogs. We made a quick stop at home for a potty break. Our intake lead arrived, and after a quick review of his walking, it was decided that Copper needed urgent care. So off to the emergency vet he went, where x-rays were taken, and the initial thought by the emergency vet was that it was hip problems. Medication was given, he was sent home. Copper went to his foster and was placed on crate rest, and absolutely hated the crate. Barking, crying, nothing soothed him. After a week, his foster was exhausted and Copper wasn't getting any better. She dropped him off for his neuter, since he was already on crate rest, and we picked him up from his surgery as one of the foster coordinators. His walking continued to decline, and when his primary vet reviewed his x-rays, they recognized it as IVDD. A referral was made to Bark City's neurologist, Dr. Heckler, and that went out immediately, and we're so thankful he was seen the very next day. His medications were switched so he could start prednisone, and for the first time since joining RMDR, Copper truly relaxed and rested that night. The pain had been driving him to cry and bark. The neurologist and her vet tech performed Copper's assessment, then the MRI. Already under anesthesia, Copper headed straight into surgery for a herniated disc. The neurologist explained the issue the classic way. Think of a squished jelly donut. The operation was a success, and Copper stayed overnight and went back to his temporary home with us as the foster coordinator's family, and his temporary foster fur siblings were often near him, watching out for him from nearby dog beds. We needed to find him a foster who could handle the post-surgical care. Enter our adoption coordinator, who somehow, magically, as she often does, already had an approved adopter who was also a nurse. Even now, reading this makes me cry. Yes, I was the foster coordinator, trying to write this in the third person. Copper's new foster-to-adopt family is perfect. 2 foster dog brothers, 1 big, 1 Doxie. Chameleons who like to color coordinate with his blanket. A mom who knows how to remove bandages without panicking. And a home full of love and quiet so he could heal. And no more bouncing around. He was home. Just a couple of weeks later, Copper is wagging his tail so much and still walking with his sling support and foster mom, but using his back legs. She caught this on video, and he was so delighted to be outside stretching his legs on his sniff the yard and go potty break. Watch for Copper's official adoption announcement soon. He truly is a textbook, catch it early and act fast, IVDD success story. Thanks to the RMDR community. Frankie is a gentle soul whose story quietly tugged at hearts long before he ever reached us. His owner had considered surrendering him in 2024, but tried to make things work for another year. Meanwhile, our foster Tammy worried about him, and when Frankie finally entered the rescue this April, she and her husband, Everett, opened their home instantly. Frankie arrived in pain. He came with 6 bladder stones, each the size of a quarter. His vet said they were among the largest he'd ever seen. Those had to come out first. Once Frankie recovered from that surgery, something beautiful happened. Tammy and Everett knew he wasn't going anywhere. They adopted him. Foster failed, so in the very best way. We call it a foster win. They worked with Uinta Vet to help Frankie regain strength with physical therapy. If you compare videos from when he got there to now, the difference is incredible. Muscle replacing atrophy, hope replacing fear. There is still movement in his back legs. We gathered his medical records, x-rays, and letter from his veterinarian confirming what we'd hoped for. Frankie is a candidate for IVDD surgery with a strong chance of regaining mobility. Our challenge? Finding a neurologist who would respond. First in Salt Lake they didn't, but after Copper went through Bark City, we finally had our neurologist. Frankie's family forwarded their GoFundMe total to Bark City, and one of our donors confirmed that their donation could be used to cover the remaining cost of his procedure as alumni of RMDR. And just like that, Frankie is scheduled December 8th, 2025, a day of hope circled on the calendar. Bonsai's story is a whirlwind, one of those drop everything, we go now rescues. She had gone down a week earlier, losing use of her legs due to IVDD, and a month before had been to the vet for not quite acting like herself. Her family wanted to do the right thing for her but couldn't afford the urgent surgery and time needed, both working outside the home, that she would need for help during her recovery. They loved her enough to let her go quickly so she could get help. With Copper freshly post-surgery and Frankie needing care, we knew this was the moment to call on the Allen Foundation. 3 dachshunds, 3 surgeries, one very scary financial mountain. They didn't just donate, they stepped forward as Bonsai's foster-to-adopt family. We sent our training materials, they soaked them up, they were ready. Bonsai was dropped off for her MRI the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. She had her initial exam, then her MRI, then, just like Copper, she went straight into surgery. She spent the night at Bark City with her IV drip and medications, and the day before Thanksgiving she went home to her foster parents and her foster first sibling, Boo. Her future is still unfolding, but she is safe. She is loved, and she is healing. Copper, Frankie, and Bonsai. 3 dogs, 3 cases of IVDD, 3 enormous veterinary bills, and 3 hopeful futures. None of these life-changing surgeries would have been possible without our community. The Allen Foundation, Bark City veterinary specialists, Cottonwood Emergency Vet, Neighborhood Vet, our dedicated fosters, and the people like you who cheer the dogs on. IVDD is terrifying, expensive, and fast. But when we act fast too, miracles happen. This Giving Tuesday, if you feel moved to help us continue this work, whether it's sharing these stories, donating, or supporting our fosters, you become part of the reason little long dogs get to keep going. And we are so grateful you're part of the RMDR family.